Hello, Egg Nation! How does a simple piece of paper, the US dollar, hold the key to America's global power for years? Let's crack it open like an egg. Imagine you live in a world where every country trades with eggs. Not real eggs, but special golden eggs. Each one stamped with a mark that says US Farm. These aren't just any eggs. They're the most trusted, most wanted eggs in the world. Why? Because no matter where you go, whether you're in Europe, Asia, or South America, everyone knows that if you have a US farm egg, you can trade it for almost anything. Oil, rice, cars, even smartphones. Now, think of these golden eggs as US dollars. The dollar isn't powerful just because America is big. It's powerful because the whole world agrees to use it, especially for one very important thing: oil. Here's how it started. A long time ago, in the 1970s, America made a deal with Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest oil sellers in the world. The deal was simple. Saudi Arabia would sell its oil to other countries only if they paid in US dollars. In return, the US would provide them with military support and political backing. Other oil-rich countries saw this and said, hey, if we want to sell oil too, maybe we should do the same. So they started selling oil in dollars too. This became known as the Petrodollar system, a fancy name that just means oil is sold in US dollars. And because oil is something every country needs to power cars, planes, factories, every country suddenly needed US dollars. Even if they didn't buy oil from America, they had to get dollars to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Qatar, or Norway. Let's bring back the egg. Imagine your country wants to buy oil to keep the lights on and the buses running, but the oil seller only accepts US farm eggs as its currency. So you go to your local farm, sell your regular eggs, and use that money to buy US farm eggs. Then you trade those for oil. Now you're stuck keeping a bunch of US farm eggs just in case you need more oil later. You don't want to run out. And here's the magic trick. All those US dollars sitting in banks and vaults around the world, they don't just sit there. Countries use them to buy things from America, like machines, medicines, or computers. Or they lend them back to the US by buying US government bonds like an IOU note. This means America can borrow money cheaply and spend more than it has, because the world keeps giving it dollars in exchange for promises. If you're enjoying this egg-cracking breakdown, don't forget to tap the like button and subscribe. It's like giving the YouTube algorithm a high five. This petrodollar system also allows the United States to project power through sanctions. If America decides a country has stepped out of line, it can restrict access to the dollar system. That's like saying, you can't use dollars to buy oil anymore. Suddenly, that country struggles to buy oil, to sell goods, to trade internationally. The dollar isn't just money, it's leverage. Another example of the USA controlling the global economy using the dollar as a tool of power was what happened in Venezuela in 2017. They have a lot of oil, but when the US said, "We won't buy your oil unless you change your government," Venezuela tried to sell in other currencies, even in their own money. But other countries still wanted dollars, so Venezuela struggled. No dollars, no big buyers. Their economy crashed. It's like trying to sell eggs at a market where everyone only accepts US farm eggs. Doesn't matter how good your eggs are. If they're not the right kind, no one wants them. Now, what if a country tries to break free? China and Russia have been trying. They've started trading oil in their own currencies, Chinese yuan, Russian ruble. But it's hard. Most countries still trust the US dollar more. The dollar is still the safest, easiest, most accepted. And here's the best part for America. Because the world needs dollars, the US can print more of them without immediately causing chaos. If Japan prints 2 yen money, their value drops fast. But if the US prints more dollars, the world absorbs them because there's always demand. Other countries buy them, hold them, trade with them. That's called exorbitant privilege, a fancy way of saying the US gets special benefits just for having the world's main currency. But it's not forever. If more countries start selling oil in yuan or digital currencies, the power of the dollar egg could weaken. And if America keeps printing too many, people might start doubting their value. Still, for now, the system holds. From Japan to Germany to Norway, countries keep piles of dollars in their banks. They use them to trade, to save, to survive crises. And as long as oil is sold in dollars, the US remains powerful. not just because of its military or technology, but because of a simple rule. You want oil? You pay in our dollars. So next time you see a dollar bill, don't just see paper, see a golden egg. Small, light, but more powerful than most weapons because the whole world agrees to trust it. And that trust, built on oil, deals, and decades of habit, is what keeps America on top. If you've made it this far, check out the next video where we crack open another controversial topic, just like an egg.